Alright, what's going on, you guys? It's Royce Jacob. Welcome back to the channel, and in this video I'm going to give you guys my top 3 cannabis stock picks of 2020. Alright, so this is actually a follow-up to the last video I posted going over my technical and fundamental reasoning behind why I think the cannabis sector as a whole could actually see another bull rally in the second half of 2020 like it did in 2018. So you guys can check that out if you're interested, but as this video states, I'm just going to go over my top 3 personal picks within the space. Alright, and remember that, you guys, these are just my personal picks. There are plenty of stocks out there. There are plenty of weed stocks out there, I should say. But these are the 3 that I choose to play with. These are the 3 that I hold in my portfolio personally. That could change over time. But as we go into what I think will be the second wave of cannabis stocks doing very well, these are the 3 that I'm choosing to play with right now. Okay, so speaking of those 3, you can see them right here, all right? Not trying to hide anything. It's Cronos, Aphria, and Canopy. To be completely honest, if you guys just want to screen grab this or take down these ticker symbols and put them on your watch list, that's completely fine, but I'm obviously still going to rationalize and give you guys my reasoning behind why I choose to play with these 3. Okay, so before we get into them one by one, I would really appreciate it if you do gain value from this video, that you would give this video a like and subscribe if you're not already and you want to catch more content like this, okay? And if you are, as always, I appreciate you very much. Okay, so that said, let's get into this. These stocks that I have right here, so I have the 3 right here. I have a few key metrics that I'm looking at. I'll let you guys know why I think these are important. And I also have my phone mirrored here, okay? We're going to look at these stocks on Robinhood. I feel like it's just better. It's more digestible that way, okay? I feel like it's better for you guys. We can kind of do this together. I do have TradingView open in the back. I like just making these videos over the charts, but I'm not going to go into any crazy technical analysis today. I'm just going to give you a very brief rundown of why I like these 3 stocks. What my price predictions are for them. Not really price predictions, but price targets are for the near future, near to mid future, and a single reason that I like the company fundamentally. Okay, so first things first, we have Cronos Group. Again, these stocks are not in any order. I do not like one more than the other. I'm playing all 3. I have almost equal positions in all 3, but yeah, we'll just go over these one by one. All right. So first, Cronos Group. It had an IPO price of $7.55. Okay, and the reason I have the IPO price on all of these is because I feel like that is a rational target in terms of where the price could go in the near future if this sector continues to rally. All right, so IPO price $7.55. It is currently sitting at a price of $6.60. So $6.54 to be exact. But yeah, I think Cronos Group could see, actually, this IPO price looks a little weird. It's rare you see this, but there's a spike in the very beginning. So its actual IPO price is around $9.40. I think that is a reasonable price target. Their market cap is sitting at $2.3 billion. Okay, and always remember, you guys, you can find this info, not the market cap specifically, but there's a lot of good metrics underneath the stock on Robinhood. So if you scroll down a little bit, you can find a lot of those metrics, not just for the cannabis sector, but for any stock you're looking at, for any company you're looking into. Market cap is a very important indicator in my mind because that's what determines valuation, okay? And I'm not going to scroll down and show it. That's the reason I wrote it on here, because it would show my positions. And out of respect for people who are in my portfolio program, I will not show my positions. But that's why I have them written down right here. And again, whenever you're looking at a stock, I think it's very important to look at market cap to determine fair valuation. All right, so market cap $2.34 billion. Not a crazy market cap by any means. Still a small market. That's what you guys have to remember about the cannabis market. It may seem large. It may seem like a lot of people are smoking weed, and again, that's why that's what I mentioned in the fundamental reasons in my last video, is so many people are smoking weed. Weed is definitely on an uptrend. Regulation is becoming more in their favor. Regulatory hoops that they have to jump through are becoming bigger and bigger. It's easier for them to operate. So that's a great argument for cannabis as a whole. But the reason I chose Cronos as one of my top picks is because Altria. So Altria, if you guys are familiar with them, they own Marlboro. They own a huge stake in Juul. So they own tobacco. They own smoking consumables. All right, very large player, huge company, owns a large stake in Cronos, which is huge. All right, that is similar to why I like Canopy. We'll get to that after this, of course. But Altria owns a huge stake in Cronos Group. When you have a partner like that, someone who's so well established and has such such access and distribution already in place, that's huge for your company, especially one like Altria. So Altria is pretty much the ideal partner for any weed company because, again, they have that distribution, they have access to resources, they have the capital, they have a strong balance sheet that they can make sure that Cronos stays afloat and stays successful. Okay, so that's very huge. And then the second reason, which is the underlying reason behind why I chose all of these companies, is actually the most powerful fundamental reason in almost any company you look at today, is they're profitable. Okay, so that's very important in any stock you ever look at. Okay, make sure this company is profitable. Look at their quarterly earnings, look at their earnings reports, look at what they're saying, look at their year-over-year growth, and make sure that they are profitable. Okay, and they have a strong balance sheet. That is so important today, specifically when we're facing this economic crisis, that a company has a strong balance sheet. They can withstand this COVID coronavirus storm that we're seeing right now, and they will make it through this. Okay, when a lot of companies who are bleeding cash and are not profitable, trust me, there are a lot in this space, are dealing with right now. I want to say this too: Cronos, Aphria, Canopy. These are three huge players in the space. Okay, these are three of the leaders in the cannabis space. And trust me, you guys, I played the cannabis bubble of 2018 pretty successfully. But if there's one single lesson that I would take out of that, it's don't chase the shiny objects. Okay, there were so many companies at that time. And you can see this is what the bubble looked like. That's why I wanted to bring this up. I want to show you guys the 5-year charts of all these stocks, so you guys can see how crazy and ballistic these stocks went in 2018 and 2019. Okay, and at this time when this was going crazy, there were literally companies changing their names, like putting weed in the title or cannabis in the title of their company names, completely pivoting just to hop on this wave. Okay, it was a crazy time. There were a lot of bad actors in the space, but they were doing well. Their price was doing well. They weren't doing well, but their price was. Okay, so be careful with shiny objects, you guys. If we do see another bull run, this is kind of happening in the vaccine sector right now, to be honest. There's a lot of shiny objects, a lot of claims being made in the space, but always look at the fundamentals, the financials, I should say, of the company specifically. Make sure they're doing real tangible things. All right, and that's what Cronos Group is doing. That's why it's one of my picks. That's why all of these are my picks. Okay, I want to play with the well-established players. There are plenty of other good companies out there, don't get me wrong. There are going to be companies that do well, or I should say stocks that do well, companies that say they're doing well, but always just be careful, you guys. Really do your due diligence, really do your research on a company before investing it. That applies to every stock you ever look at. All right, so the second is Afria, ticker symbol APHA. We'll type that in on Sha. So, Afria, boom. And again, these all did well this week. That's what encouraged me to make these videos now, is because I think we're seeing a resurgence, sorry about that, in these cannabis stocks. Okay, so, but all the years look like this. So Afria down 40% on the year. Afria is actually down 67% from its IPO price. So Afria would probably, to be honest, I know I said I didn't tier these, but Afria would probably be my number one cannabis stock pick. Okay, if I could only invest in one stock in the cannabis sector, it would probably be Afria. They IPO'd at 12.14, and I want to tell you guys why the IPO price is important. Okay, so this was 2018. The weed industry as a whole in 2018 was way less developed. No one, it was still kind of not the Wild West at that point, definitely the Wild West for weed companies IPOing though and becoming public. All right, so almost all the weed companies went public in 2018. All right, and when a stock goes public, this is just investors 101. When a stock IPOs, initial public offering, there are specifically bankers. There are very specialized individuals, analysts, who go over a company's financials and determine their worth. All right. So if and again, this can be skewed. There can be bias involved. This can be shady sometimes, but for the most part, this is a pretty fair valuation. And again, because I feel like so many stars are aligning for cannabis right now fundamentally, more people are smoking weed, again, like everything I said earlier and in my other video. I think that IPO prices in 2018 are more than fair today. Okay, so what a company was worth in 2018, again, things changed, the world has changed, obviously, but I do think with that, because cannabis as a whole is seeing such strong momentum, that we could easily see it get back to what was once deemed a fair price. Okay, so my price target for Afria is $12-ish. Okay, I wouldn't be surprised if it gets back up to like $10, $11, but I think it will hit double digits if we do see the cannabis market rally again. So that's a great return considering it's $4 right now, okay? And Afria's market cap is only at $1 billion. So it's a smaller company than all three of these, all right? So Afria would only have to double to get to the size of Cronos, and it would have to 7x almost to get to the size of Canopy, which is the third pick, all right? So, again, yeah, market cap is small. That's good. The smaller a market cap is, the more likely, I shouldn't say the more likely, but the easier it is for a share price, the individual share price, to go up, because it takes less inflow of capital to cause that share price to go up, okay? My single fundamental reason for Aphria is because they have a strong quarter-over-quarter growth and a strong balance sheet, which means they're profitable. Again, that's the underlying theme in all three of these companies, is they have strong balance sheets, they can weather storms in this hard time, and they're profitable. Okay, so that's huge. Again, always look at companies' earnings, always look at the financials before investing in them. Don't chase the shiny object. I can't reiterate that enough. All right, let's get to the third pick, which is Canopy Growth. This is the largest single player in the weed market, okay? This is the largest publicly traded weed company in the world with a market cap of just under $7 billion. They're currently sitting at $19.50, which we'll look at on here. CGC, Canopy Growth. Okay, and they had a great week as well, okay? Up almost 20% on the week, but look at that yearly, okay? The yearly is down almost 60%. Again, from their previous high, this is what, like, Canopy climbed to a high of $50 at one point, okay? It's trading at 20 now. So again, this was obviously a bubble. I do want to say, which I should have said in the beginning, to be honest, I don't think that any of these stocks, aside from Aphria, will hit these highs, okay? This was so obviously a bubble. These companies were so ridiculously overvalued that I don't think investors will make the same mistake twice. They've learned their lesson. But I do think that these companies can get to their IPO prices, in Canopy's case, which is $29. Okay, so currently sitting at $19. IPO price was $20. That's what was deemed fair by the analysts who priced it at the time. And again, their fundamentals are great. They have a strong balance sheet. They have cash on hand. And the main reason I like Canopy is because Constellation Brands owns a large stake in the company. So I mentioned this very briefly earlier when we were talking about Altria. So Altria owns Marlboro, Juul, they own smoking, they own nicotine. Constellation Brands owns Corona, they own a lot of spirits, they own liquors, they own alcohol, okay? But the same thing applies. It's not as directly applicable as Altria is, but they own addictive kind of party properties, all right? They have the distribution. They're a super huge company, all right? Look up Constellation Brands. They're a publicly traded company, Fortune 500 company, very strong. They're a powerhouse in the consumable space, okay? So they have that distribution. They have the network. They have the framework to be able to propel Canopy Growth as far as they possibly can, okay? It's not just by chance that Canopy Growth is the largest publicly traded weed company, okay? When you're with a powerhouse brand like Constellation, there's a lot of momentum behind you, all right? You have a lot more leverage and just a head start ahead of all the other companies playing in the space. Okay, so that's huge for Canopy Growth. Very bullish in my mind. Again, we'll wrap it up there. Again, guys, trust me, just don't chase the shiny objects in the space. Even from my last video, I have a lot of people hitting me up about these smaller companies. I used to play with all of them. Trust me, I've probably held almost every weed company that's gone public at one point in my investing career. But I just choose to play with the well-established ones. They're the safest bet. If this sector does go up, these guys will be the leaders. I'm very confident in that. Again, this is not financial or investment advice. This is only what I'm doing. Always go do your own research, okay? Go do your own research. Look into these companies for yourself. And hey, maybe you'll find some better companies. I don't doubt that there will be companies whose stocks perform better than this, but these are the three safest plays in my opinion, and these are the ones I feel comfortable having in my portfolio and recommending to you guys, okay? So we'll call it there, you guys. I know I did mention how I wasn't scrolling down to show my positions because I want to respect the portfolio product I have. So if you guys want to check that out, it's literally just a complete rundown of my entire portfolio. So not just weed, not cannabis, but my entire portfolio, all my options, stock holdings, cryptocurrencies, etc. So you guys can check that out. I update it every trading day. So this Monday is actually Memorial Day, so I will not be updating it then, but Tuesday to Friday, any trading day, literally, I update it. I send out an email newsletter talking about all my trades and why I made those trades. So you guys can check that out if you are interested in that at all. It really helps me help you, and it helps support the channel and encourages me to keep making this content. Okay, so that said, I really do appreciate you guys. Always remember, take action, make waves in these markets. Until next time, peace. All right, later, guys.